Welcome back, first year English literature students. We were doing the introduction to The Merchant of Venice, and we were at the scene when Portia comes in disguise to the court, and this is the famous court scene or the trial scene going on. Portia has disguised as a male lawyer, and her maid Nerissa, she has also disguised herself as her assistant. Now, interesting thing is that nobody can recognize them. Even their husbands, Bassanio and Gratiano, amazingly, even they don't recognize them. Now, Portia gives a famous speech. This speech is regarding mercy. She says that mercy is twice blessed because mercy blesses the person who receives it and the person who gives it. So, Portia tries her best to convince Shylock in order to have mercy on Antonio. But Antonio is not saved by this mercy speech. In other words, Portia fails to convince Shylock by her speech. Now, Shylock is very adamant and he refuses any compensation and insists on the pound of flesh. He does not want double the amount. He also refuses triple the amount, and he says that I will have the bond. I will have only what is written in the bond. So he refuses for any compensation and he sticks on the bond. Now, as the court grants Shylock his bond, Antonio prepares for Shylock's life. Now, Antonio thinks that this is the end of his life and he bows down because he thinks that now he is going to die. Now, Portia is a very intelligent woman. She very deftly appropriates Shylock's argument for specific performance. Now she catches Shylock on his own words. She says that the contract allows Shylock to remove only the flesh, not the blood of Antonio. Now she says that it is not written in the bond that a drop of blood will flow from the body of Antonio. So she says that yes, you may have your bond, you may cut a pound of flesh, but it should be neither 1 gram less or 1 gram more. And secondly, not a drop of blood should shed. Thus, if Shylock were to shed any drop of Antonio's blood, his lands and goods would be forfeited under Venetian laws. And she also tells him that he must cut precisely 1 pound of flesh, no more, no less. And if the scale do turn, but in the estimation of a hair, he will lose all his goods and all his property. Now Shylock is taken aback because till now he was thinking that he has defeated Antonio and he will kill Antonio, but now Portia, an intelligent woman, she has tried her best to save Antonio's life, and by the gift of the tongue means she has got this talent of speech. She catches hold of Shylock. So Shylock is defeated and he consents to accept Bassanio's offer of money for the defaulted bond. First is offered to pay the bond thrice, which Portia rebuffs, telling him to take his bond. Then merely the principal amount, but Portia also prevents him from doing this on the ground now that he has already refused it. Now all the situation is now in the favor of Portia. She cites a law under which Shylock, as a Jew and therefore an alien, having attempted to take the life of a citizen, has forfeited his property, half to the government, half to Antonio, and leaving his life at the mercy of Duke. and the Duke spares Shylock's life and says that he may remit the forfeiture. Now the tables have turned for Shylock. Portia says that the Duke may waive the state's share. Waive means make less, decrease, but not Antonio's. Now, Antonio is of the view that he is satisfied that the state or the government can waive its claim half to Shylock's wealth if he can have 1/2 share in use until Shylock's death, when the principal would be given to Lorenzo and Jessica. Antonio also asked for this favor Shylock convert to Christianity and bequeath his entire estate to Lorenzo and Jessica. Now you see, here also at this point of time, Antonio is thinking of his friend Lorenzo and his newly-wed wife Jessica. He says that Shylock should be converted to Christianity, and we all know that Christians and Jews did not like each other. The Duke then threatens to recant his pardon of Shylock's life until he accepts these conditions. Now Shylock was re-threatened with death. He accepts with the word, I am content. Content means I am satisfied. Now there is a very interesting episode after the trial scene, and that is called the ring episode. Now Bassanio did not recognize his disguised wife, and he offers to give a present to the supposed lawyer because he is very happy now that his friend's life is saved. So he asks the lawyer to ask for a present. First she declines, but when Bassanio insists, Portia requests that Bassanio should give his ring and Antonio's gloves. Antonio parts with his gloves without a second thought, but Bassanio gives the ring only after much persuasion from Antonio, because this ring was given to Bassanio by Portia, and Portia said that you should never part with this ring. But Bassanio is very confused today, because at one hand Antonio is insisting him to give his ring to the lawyer who has saved his life, and at another hand he is thinking of his newly-wed wife who has asked him not to part with the ring. So earlier in the play he has already promised his wife that never to lose, sell or give this ring. Now Nerissa was also acting as the lawyer's clerk. She also succeeds likewise in having her ring from Gratiano, who does not see through her disguise. At Belmont, Nerissa and Portia, they reach again, and they taunt and pretend to accuse their husbands before revealing they were really the lawyer and his clerk in disguise. Portia and Nerissa, they reach before their husbands and they ask for the rings. And after a lot of teasing, they accept that they have taken the rings from their husbands. After all the characters make amends, Antonio learns from Portia that 3 of his ships were not stranded and have returned safely after all. So this was an introduction to Shakespeare's comedy The Merchant of Venice, and we will start with Merchant of Venice act-wise and scene-wise in the coming lessons. Thank you very much.